Cold War Era Espionage. The Cold War lasted from 1947 to 1991, and it was a non-violent war where no one died directly from the war. It was mainly an arms race between the Soviet Union, its allies, and America and its allies. Although the war was predicated on an arms race, another major component of the war was a race to gather intelligence. Intelligence gathering has been a major component of many wars. It was even used during the American Revolution. One of the early examples of espionage between the two superpowers was during the Manhattan Projects, where Klaus Fuchs provided information to the Soviet Union regarding the nuclear weapons program that America had built. The Soviet Union had the intelligence agency KGB, and America relied on the CIA to gather information. Both countries were constantly preparing for nuclear war. They wanted to gather information so that they could know the full extent of the other side's nuclear arsenal and capabilities. Since technology was limited during the era, the superpowers relied on spies to infiltrate and report on the capabilities of the other state. Many of the spies needed cover for being in a foreign land. A very common cover was an embassy. The spies could enter the land under the guise of working at an embassy, while in reality, they were gathering information on their enemy. Julius and Ethel Rosenberg were both American citizens, but they relayed sensitive information to Russia, and as a punishment for their treason, they were executed. This served as a deterrent for any future communist sympathizers. One tactic employed by both nations was trying to get spies and citizens to defect. Defectors could provide the United States sensitive information. Communist sympathizers would relay intelligence to behind the Iron Curtain. The spy networks would often try to turn agents of the other organizations. These agents were called double agents, and there is even an example of a triple agent during the war. When the Soviets created the Berlin Wall, their only goal was not to prevent Germans living in East Berlin from defecting. They were also building a barrier to prevent the escape of information. The Iron Curtain made it extremely difficult to transfer information since it kept the Soviets secluded. The US was forced to create new ways to relay information. One method was having ships close to the Soviet Union. The spies would send the intelligence they gathered to the ships, which would then relay the information back to the United States. In order to better procure information, there were major advancements in technology during the war. For example, cameras were concealed in new and improved ways. They were hidden in ties, wallets, shoes, and pens, wherever they could be hidden. There were also ingenious contraptions that were guns. One gun was hidden in a glove, another was hidden in lipstick. All that needed to occur was twisting the lipstick to unleash the kiss of death. Another valuable advancement for surveillance was the use of satellites. The space race was not just about patriotism and trying to become the best nation. It was also to gain an edge over the other nation in espionage. The satellites could take pictures of any surface on Earth, but their Achilles heel was their resolution. The early satellites took pictures that were too blurry to be of much use. Spy planes were also used to gather information during the war. The NATO used U-2 planes, and one of the planes was eventually shot down by a missile over the Soviet Union. This confirmed Russia's suspicion that America was surveilling them from the sky, and the United States was forced to admit it. Intelligence gathering is still used today, although it often takes different forms. It also helped to preserve mutually assured destruction, since both countries knew that the other country could obliterate them, and they were
hesitant to fire, provoke a war.